So here we are, folks. Game number 1. Both of these players undefeated so far in Titans League Season 4. And the winner here will have very good odds to win the group. Because so far, anyone else they've faced have just been absolutely no match for them. Sebastian 3-0'd Doubt, and then 3-0'd Yo. Liereyy 3-0'd Doubt, and also 3-0'd Margugu. So I think Lierey's got this slightly tougher road after this. He'll have Yo, and then he'll have Dragonstar, and then Sebastian will also have Dragonstar, and then we'll also end up having, I believe, Margugu, right? Now, on the topic of Doubt and Margugu play next. Or sorry, that's not true. Dragonstar and Doubt play next. Doubt has 0 wins, and Dragonstar has 3. And while Dragonstar has more wins, Dragonstar has to play both of the 2 we're watching on screen right now. So that series becomes really important as well. So we got the Huns for Sebastian. And we've got Liereyy playing as the Lithuanians. I like both the picks. And I think both of these picks suit the players pretty nicely as well. Sebastian has played Huns a lot more consistently than Liereyy ever has. He and a lot of his Fox teammates have always preferred to have Huns. Another player who's in Gold League, Mihai, likes to play them a lot. I think Dark likes to play them a lot as well. And I think Sebastian played them in the first round and played very actively with Army in the middle. Very smooth civ to play with. And then Lierey's Lithuanians. Liereyy loves his skirms, man. He loves his skirms. Loves his speedy units, and Spears and Skirms would be the play. Obviously, could see Knights and whatnot eventually as well. So Liereyy had to work a little bit harder for his wins over Doubt. So I was trying to think of reasons to give someone the edge here, but I think it's really tough. Lierey's had the longer and more successful career, but Sebastian has had an insane last year and a half or 2 years or something. So both players just pushing in some deer at the moment. Very forward resources long-term for Liereyy and for Sebastian. Stones and golds right through the middle here. Even the relic could be important. These golds kind of tough to lock down long-term for Sebastian. When things get crazy in Castle Age, those are the things to think about. Rage and Kane, thank you for the 10 gifted, my friend. Sorry I was doing my intro during that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kira Hellfire, for the 6 months. Not a lot of Lowy the Legends these days. I get it. We'll be back to it once TTL's over, though. So there's been a couple moments. There's rare moments in TTL where we can make comparisons to Lowy the Legends. But there's been 1 or 2 castles where maybe you could make the comparison. Beyond that, it's pretty different stuff. So Doc in the north for Sebastian here, and Doc in the south for Liereyy, and they've got to scout that. Sebastian actually scouted with his sheep here, which is an interesting little trend. Another thing that his teammates have done is they will build palisades all along the shoreline to block potential dock locations. And they usually do that with Huns. And I don't know why specifically with Huns. I don't know if they're doing that because they can't make houses on the shoreline to add extra vision. I don't know if they're doing that because of the wood savings, or maybe they just really like Huns, but they also think the Palisade trick is strong. But I don't really recall Sebastian doing it a ton. It was mainly Dark, and it was mainly Mihai who did that, so Sebastian's scout will move out. So he basically knows that Liereyy isn't on this pond because he scouted with the sheep. And now he'll check this pond and know Liereyy isn't here. And so then using process of elimination, he knows Lierey's in the south. And Liereyy will move his scout out, also scout the shorelines. And then they've got to check the barracks and archery range and stable timing if that happens. But yeah, Sebastian checking. Not as thoroughly as maybe he would have liked, but he didn't see a dock. And I assume he's going to just find out pretty naturally where the dock is for Liereyy. But the thing is, Liereyy and Sebastian, they don't really go for man-at-arms that frequently. And neither do the Huns and Lithuanians. So you don't need to be as actively scouting on the front of your opponent's base to expect that. Sebastian will find the gold and the wood for Liereyy just passing. And expect the barracks to come up for him here in a second. Still really scouting actively with his sheep. So I don't know. Maybe you leave the sheep there. If you lose the sheep, you know your opponent's there. It might just be probably a non-factor there, but I can't stop looking at that sheep, you know? He sees the dock there from Liereyy. Okay. So barracks will go up from Sebastian. This is a big one. Forget about the $40 per win. Like, this is all about getting the bye. This is about winning the group and getting the bye to the quarterfinals. The scouting's been pretty top tier from both. I say that, actually, and that's wrong. Like, Liereyy hasn't found his opponent's dock yet. But Liereyy never really goes forward dock, so I don't think it's as big a priority for him. And they both hit feudal age at the same time. Liereyy sees the stable. And then Sebastian saw the vills on gold. Now, this would immediately make me paranoid there's a sneak dock. Because why would your opponent be on gold if he's going for a scout build? So he's probably, like, panicking. Like, oh, my God. And watch this. Look, he thought that's a forward dock. Why else would he do it? I think he cancels the fire galley. Yeah. Look at that. That's sick. Man, that's the type... That stuff right there, like, that's the stuff that gets me out of bed in the morning. That... I don't know how... I don't know if that's normal. But, oof, that just makes me get so excited, dude. See somebody scout something like that and know what it normally means and then get confused. And now he's like... Now it's stuck in his brain. Now he's like, he must be doing it. Why is he on gold? And then he's going to be like, oh, he's going archers. Duh. That's why he's on gold. Okay, makes sense. Wow, crazy walls from Liereyy. And Lierey's also bringing the Dockville in as well. Wow, super defensive. There's not a hole there. There is a tree. So he will be fully walled. And that's not something that Huns normally want to be up against. But it seems like Sebastian's just going to have to accept that that's the way the game's going to be played. So when Liereyy played against Doubt, he was not very active on the pawns. It was all about land army. And when Sebastian played against Doubt, it was the same. And so just the fact that Sebastian didn't really check to even or even think about sending a Vill here is kind of interesting for me. At some games, people are sending sneak Vills left and right. They're just different approaches, you know? Here comes Liereyy now. Now, he's kind of running into the darkness. He doesn't know what his opponent's done in a while either. But he does know he's up against Huns, and they should be pretty open and exposed. He'll see the range. He'll see the flag, so that'll tell him his opponent's on skirms. And he doesn't see all the walls. Sebastian will add a few more, and Liereyy will see the skirmishers now and can't get through. Sebastian could take this gold in the back, by the way. There's no need to take this main gold if it's that exposed. But I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty close game. I prefer Lierey's situation because Liereyy is already walled and because Liereyy is fishing more. Like, Liereyy added extra fish in this pond. It started at 3 or 4, went up to 5. And now he's going up to 5 over here. But, I mean, Lierey's also gotten housed a bunch. Which is something that he's actually got to work to do where the Huns do not. The Huns feel pretty fluid right now when you're making so much army, and Lithuanians just a little tougher to constantly produce. But, dude, it's, like, wild. Like, I mean no disrespect to Doubt with this comment, but we just saw the set yesterday, and game 1 there was on cross. And there, Liereyy was, like, full army, open, forward with his army all the time. He was like, I'm going to engage, get upgrades, and I'm not going to wall at all. And he just dominated. And now here against Sebastian, he's like behind his walls, pulled back into the corner, really frightened to overinvest into upgrades, and really wants to rush Castle Age. So there's clearly a difference in his mind and how he's going to have to play this against Sebastian. And he will click up to Castle Age with a pretty good position, Liereyy. But Sebastian's got the skirms all around his base right now. And Sebastian ends up losing a scout. That's a nice snipe there from Liereyy. Liereyy also loses an archer. And so he is clicking up a little bit faster. But man, his fish are so unprotected. Just imagine a sneak dock from Sebastian. It doesn't seem like that's in his repertoire. It doesn't seem like that's something he likes to do. Now, Lierey's going to have a pretty solid Castle Age army if he can get everything upgraded. He'll have crossbow, but he'll also have some scouts to kill off any skirms. It's been tough for Sebastian to do damage, and he did spend a lot more food than Liereyy did. So Even though resources collect is pretty close, Sebastian's just much later to Castle Age. And because Huns can't house wall, you are pretty vulnerable with just palisade walls here. Back in the old days, people would actually stonewall a lot more with Huns because they just couldn't house wall. No one wants to do that these days. Because they want that stone for TCs. So Lierey's sneaking out. This is Lierey's opportunity to counter. Liereyy doesn't have an army to stop this, really. But he can build houses there. Sir, there is an enemy at our gates. What should we do? Grab those 3 villagers and just build a house in front of it. Okay. It's the stupidest thing ever if you really think about it. But that's Age of Empires. That's the play. You just build a house. Stop a whole army. More skirm production for Sebastian at home. But Liereyy is here. This is really dangerous. Liereyy can kill people so quickly here. Also, this is kind of dangerous for Liereyy. The house is still pretty weak. If Sebastian breaks through, there's not much of an answer. Sebastian now has to fall back to some stone walls. Loses 1 vill. This is before the upgrades come in. And he's not completely walled there. He will drop a market now. And I actually think maybe he thinks he can drop... Well, no, it is a market. And will he have the wood now to get the skirm upgrades? And will he break through into Lierey's base? Look at Liereyy rotate back the weak vills to the gold and just bring new villagers. Sebastian's too committed now, though. Sebastian has to... Oh, God, the crossbows are through. Yeah, Sebastian has to stay. And, oh, this is a painful, painful, painful start to Castle Age for Sebastian. He didn't actually complete the market, so he can't buy and sell res to get upgrades for the skirms. And he's still not through, and this is really nice for Liereyy, at least so far. It's not the cleanest situation for Liereyy, but he does have knights. And knights with some armor should be able to put an end to this. So, just a Castle Age timing with crossbows, just like the old days for Liereyy, has done so much damage here to Sebastian. Sebastian is towered, but that's not enough to protect the wood. And he lost his scouts. Lierey's knights are out. Liereyy already on 3 TCs, guys. So, even if Liereyy doesn't kill more vills... he should have a pretty massive economy lead here. Painful for Sebastian that he doesn't have actually... that he hasn't completed a market, you know? I really think that if he just added a couple stone walls, even 150 stone worth of stone walls, is probably better than the situation he's fallen into, right? But players are just so resistant to doing that. If you don't control the map with army, you're going to have bigger problems anyways. So, it does make sense, the situation Sebastian's fallen into. And Sebastian finally gets Elite Skirm completed. Still has the tower over here. Might want to wall this up so Liereyy can't bring in more units. But perfect start for Liereyy here. Has just completely punished the Huns with what they can't do. What they can't do is they can't easily protect themselves in early castle. But that is a lot of skirmishers. And he's going to need something other than crossbows eventually. The knights can only buy so much time for now. But this many skirms can push all this back on their own. And then it's going to be cav archers from Sebastian. And Sebastian knows he's really far behind as well. So Sebastian, he's going to be aggressive. I think this is all important timing, though, for Liereyy. The fact that he might just run away with the knights now. But the fact that this army is still here for Sebastian's crazy. And Sebastian's just completely out of position. And Liereyy knows his army will die. So he'll kill what he can before it dies. Kills a couple more vills. And now a 16 villager lead for Liereyy. So Lierey's knights will go home. They can heal up. He's getting +2 armor now. He does see some relics. So if he snags those, he'll get the extra attack on the knights. Sebastian will drop TC2. His food is insane. So, he probably will be at 5 seconds idle TC for all of Castle Age. He won't have any issues there, especially because he doesn't really need more skirms. I guess long-term for Liereyy, it's just the map position that becomes awkward. He really needs to secure the map for the golds and the stones that are on the front. And Lierey's actually massing a lot of his own skirms and crossbows in that range there. That's interesting. Knights have +2 armor. Oh, wow. There's a crossbow there being annoying. I like that for Liereyy. But there's also Cav Archers in the mix for Sebastian. Cav Archers can help against these knights, but look at Lierey's micro. Pulling the weak knights back. Doesn't quite get it that time. But every knight is so valuable to him right now. Super annoying for Sebastian to have to deal with this. And I actually love the move from Liereyy to go into some of his own skirms here, because Cav Archer numbers are so dangerous against knights. It doesn't matter how much attack you have if they can just get the critical mass to take you out. Also, the opponent can add monks too, and then you can have range units for that. But he doesn't have the upgrades yet. He will drop... I was thinking about a second range. And Sebastian advancing forward pretty confidently here. Killing a couple Vills. Lierey's still kind of worried about fighting this, and Sebastian just hanging around for the time being. But was it patience from Liereyy? It feels like it was. Now he'll move in with the knights. Elite skirms on the way, so in 15 seconds he'll have that as well. And his skirms are faster. This is so tough for Sebastian. I don't know what to suggest. You have to use your skirms against your opponent's skirms, but that's kind of tough to do. And now the skirms from Liereyy are just right here with the knights, and the Cav Archers get pushed away. That's perfect from Liereyy. There was just that period where his eco needed to kick in, and the eco's officially kicked in for him now. So many people just YOLO knights and monks there. So many people do that, and they don't go into skirms as well. It's so good. Just feels like Sebastian can't catch up at the moment. He fell behind early. That army was supposed to be the key to victory for him. And now... I mean, now he'll be on 3 TCs as well, 30 or so villagers behind, but Lierey's arguably got the better army. There's going to be a monk getting relic number 2. I think that'll actually end up being relic number 3. Relic number 2 just gets dropped off now. And just perfect from Liereyy. What a start. Sebastian's got one more chance. One more fight. And maybe maybe this relic gets delayed. Every little bit helps. But like with these two, when someone gets this position, you expect them to take advantage of it, and you expect that they can't possibly throw, you know? It feels inevitable when Sebastian or Liereyy gain this type of a lead that they're going to end the game. And I feel that way right now about Liereyy. Triple range skirm production. Double stable knight production. 3 relics soon with Lithuanians. Full armor. Bloodlines isn't even in yet for Sebastian. That's an upgrade he really needs. And Lierey's just going to dive. The skirms cannot be stopped here. And Sebastian's just completely out of options. Siege was supposed to help a little bit. Maybe it did. Bloodlines obviously really would have helped. But I think even with Bloodlines, you've still got massive problems when your opponent has this many skirms. And your Cav Archers was your best play. Dominant from Liereyy. I think Sebastian's probably thinking, should I have been forward with my feudal age army attacking the houses like that? Should I maybe have held the map? Like if he held the map with that army, those crossbows at least get delayed from getting to his base. And Lierey's just not stopping, dude. He's underneath the TC. He'll kill everything. And that was clean, man. That was clean. And yeah, I think, like, I've been there so many times myself where you want this open, aggressive game with the Huns. And then your opponent plays defensive, so your army doesn't really do too much for you. And then you don't know what to do. I think the number one thing you can do is at least keep vision on the army and stop it from advancing out. So, easier said than done. But this was just an invitation. Like, that's not... Oh, sorry, I gave the win to the wrong person. This isn't really the toughest situation for Liereyy. I mean, it was impressive. But if this army stays on the hill in the front, Liereyy never gets an opportunity to move out with his army like that. And then, like, Liereyy has to wait a little bit. Maybe he has to wait for the scout numbers. And if, like, Liereyy can't advance till he clicks his upgrades, and if Liereyy can't advance till he clicks his upgrades, and his army's here when he clicks his upgrades, then Sebastian can track it, has some time to know it's coming, and then has time to stonewall and tower and do what he needs to. But not tracking that army and having this army over on the side ended up just not being the play for Sebastian. So, Big problem for him there. I honestly, I think with how perfect Liereyy plays, you're never going to beat him, no matter who you are, if he does that much damage to you in early Castle Age. And it was just super clean play from the Austrian. So Liereyy remains undefeated, guys. But we'll move on to Sebastian's home map next. And I think that is Jungle Swamp. So here we are, game number 2. And we've got Liereyy playing as the Persians, and we've got Sebastian playing as the Japanese. So, I like this matchup a lot. Now, we usually see this matchup on cross. This is not cross. There's just the one pawn in the middle. So, both pretty flexible with their economies. And every time I see the Persians, I'm usually thinking about how their military is worse and their eco's better. And I would think that's the case here. Cav archers and halbs, if that's the end game comp, there's not really much Persians can really do about that. Persians do have knights that are great against archers. They, of course, could go for their own cav archers as well, but Japanese is just a little bit better in that regard. So I think there's that. But then you do have to think about like maybe the early game and the mid game. I think Japanese usually want to play towards infantry and archer. And I'm not sure if that is really the best for the map here. Typically, we've seen a whole lot of scouts in combination with some water. So if I had to guess, I'd say we ski scout opening, and then, scout opening and then adapt is probably the play. But yeah, chat, I'll open it up to some questions if you guys have any. I see people asking about the sub goal. The sub goal is active subscribers. So, and that goes until March 2nd. So yeah, in theory, if a sub cancels or something, then that number would go down as well. So if you were a tree, what type of tree would you be? I would be an acacia tree because it provides a lot of shade for people, and I think they appreciate that. And it has 150 wood instead of 100 wood. So a little bit more wood to chop and a little bit more shade. Next question. T90, if pros don't stonewall with Huns, wouldn't you say that at least some outposts behind the palisades, at least, so you know a bit before the army hits the palisades? Yeah, I mean, at the highest level, people are... Ultimately, they should know where the opponent's army is if they're being active with their own army. So that's why you don't see a lot of outposting. But that was a pretty clear situation where maybe, like, some stonewalls could have actually been good. But again, I think I explained, like, the main reason I think there was a problem there was actually just the army was out of position. If Sebastian has an extra minute, he probably doesn't get surprised by the army and can at least think about things a little bit more. So some people are bringing 2 villagers forward and they're staying here because with 2 vills, you're never going to lose it in Dark Age and you don't have to get loom. But these guys, they went forward, they built their dock and with 1 vill and they left. Like, they both did that, which is pretty funny. So that's different than what we've seen most people do. And then, like, the fish is good in early feudal, but then it becomes about all the hunt and how open the map is, so. My favorite unique tech. Well, guys, I meant more about TTL or, like, the groups or you know, whatever, but my favorite unique tech, probably drill or recurve bow. Drill siege is... I mean, drill siege is drill siege. That's super fun. And then recurve bow, cav archers. Ooh. Some of my... Those are 2 of my favorite civs, Mongols and Magyars, and they're 2 of my favorite techs. So, pretty sick. But yeah, someone who's not subscribed is saying, isn't your sub goal ambitious? Classic. My sub goal is absolutely ambitious, but that's the point of setting goals. I mean, according to the stats, there's enough people watching. Maybe it's doable, but it's just out of reach, and then I don't have to commit to a 24-hour stream. And I mean, with the plans I already have for the 24-hour stream, if it happens, it's kind of next level stuff. So we'll see. Just doing my best. You don't know. According to the stats, if 5% of people that watch Titans League subscribe at some point, maybe it's doable. But I also don't know if I believe the stats. And Liereyy just blocked with the fishing ship, dude. Just blocked with the fishing ship. Reminds me of a player used fishing ships to make a wall on water. I forget who that was. I think the first person that did that was Doubt, actually. There were ships moving through a tiny choke point, and then he set up a wall of fishing ships to block fires, and players will do whatever they can. Hold on, what's the difference in the uptimes here? Liereyy is up already, before 8.5 minutes, and Sebastian does fall back to his TC here, but clearly didn't have as quick an uptime. I'm a little confused about that. I guess this is why we shouldn't answer questions, but he is also, hold on. So Sebastian might be cooking here because he went 5 fish and he's not going to go to gold to try and retake water. So is his logic that he can just take more food from the middle and then not have to invest into saving it? This is actually pretty crazy. So we've got 275 food remaining in the middle, even though it looks like it'd be way more. It's going to take him some time to lose the fish, but he is going to lose them, and there will be less than 200 food remaining. He doesn't have to make 2 fire galleys. He's collected more resources. I think he's kind of onto something here, honestly. Because otherwise, like, there's no way that he would do this if it was bad. Like, this is definitely something that he practiced a little bit, right? Yeah, he didn't go to gold right away. He'll go to gold now for archers. All right. Well, that's going to make Liereyy feel very confident. You're never going to kill 5 fishing ships and feel like you're in a worse position. And Liereyy is going to go archers, or sorry, skirms. And is adding range number 2. Liereyy scouted the stable and the range opening, so he knows what his opponent will do. And there's a lot to wall up here along the front. Very unique game. I mean, double range is kind of crazy. We don't see that frequently. Usually it's going to be 1 range, 1 blacksmith, if anything. It's also kind of tough for Liereyy to take the hunt around the map. Sebastian's able to place mills on all these different areas of hunt because he's got the amount of army control he has at the moment. So Liereyy really lacking in the land department after winning the water. And again, there's 148 food in the middle. Wow, that's... I actually really like this play from Sebastian. It makes your game plan so much simpler. The fact that you could just focus primarily on land and you don't need to combine the 2 of them. And Lierey's head, he's thinking, you know, I've killed all this eco, but he probably didn't do practice sets and look at and see this before and see the difference in the resources collected. When do you see a 5-to-1 eco KD and see the resources collected look like that? So double range archer, I think, for Liereyy. He did make 1 skirm. Maybe just because he felt he had to because he didn't have the gold. He'll take the deer now. Farms are coming up for Sebastian. Army's coming forward, and this could be tough times for Liereyy. Liereyy doesn't have fletching yet. There's a lot that Liereyy has to protect. And that'll be a dead vill. If Sebastian's range units can snipe any of these spears and archers, Liereyy will have some big problems, man. And he already has some big problems. Liereyy has to pull away from the berries. He probably just noticed that Sebastian has fletching. And what a response from Sebastian after the start. Now, on any other map, you might actually start making some ships now if you're Sebastian. I don't think you necessarily need to do that, though. He'll dive with fletching in, snipe some of Lierey's archers. But he does lose some spears. I actually think that's important here. At some point, what Liereyy might do is he'll lose... he almost lost another archer, but eventually Liereyy might want to go scouts. So those spears can be really valuable. Sebastian stags armor for the skirms. Lierey's archers pretty much do nothing. Liereyy just has no response to this, guys. He's built up his base in a way that makes life awkward for Sebastian, but Sebastian's just not hesitating here. Vills are exposed. Sebastian being patient here. He knows the archers will come in. He snipes another Vill. but there's not the biggest army. And to get more army in here, you have to, like, walk around all these walls. It's not an easy situation for Sebastian to micro. Lierey's Archer micro is pretty sick. He hops out with a lot more army. He didn't lose that many vills. And he adds his own skirms to match, so he holds on. Yeah, Liereyy has Loom. Liereyy has Loom. I think he might have skipped it before, but he's good. Okay, so 12 farms against 8. It's not like Liereyy hasn't been taking any hunt. He is taking some. He is on berries too. Sebastian's also on double range now. Sebastian also spent more food. You can think about it that way. Close game. I mean, super close game. Kind of what I expected the first game to be. First game got changed in early Castle Age when Liereyy was on crossbows, though. And that seems to be the play here for Liereyy again. Sebastian's walling. Now here you could actually house wall behind the palisades. The tower is gold. And he's moving forward here, so I like this. I also wouldn't mind an outpost on the other side. Don't know if Lierey's sneaking any archers, but yeah, Liereyy, like, he's been so defensive in Feudal Age this series. So defensive. Just, like, defend, and I'll kill him in early Castle Age seems to be the logic. And Sebastian was never expecting this much army from Liereyy. And that's such a good clear up for Liereyy. Like, in a ranged unit war, especially when you're worried about Japanese CA, that's crazy. It's been so unorthodox from Liereyy. I just don't think Sebastian was expecting that army to be there. And Liereyy gets another clear up. Look at the army count for Liereyy. Look at the uptime from Liereyy. So well played. So he did lose 3 vills. He didn't kill any. But he's up to Castle Age faster here with the Persians. And now Sebastian will start to drop those houses. Yeah, I think you need a house in every single area, though. Like, if Liereyy sees one spot that doesn't have a house, you're going to be in trouble. And now Sebastian clicks up. I think there's something to be said for this, like, this crossbow skirmisher mix in a Cav Archer meta. Because if you open only with skirms... Now, granted, that's still, like, really good in the Cav Archer meta. But your opponent can add a Siege Workshop, or they mix in a couple Knights, and then you kind of have problems, right? Or if you go only crossbows, then maybe crossbows in and of themselves aren't as strong, as Liereyy just deletes the fishing ships. That's going to make some people upset, but... Yeah, I mean, that mix seems super good. Now, Sebastian's moving out. Sebastian doesn't see Liereyy is there. Oh my god, what a horrible time for Sebastian to move out. Horrible time. I mean, as if this already wasn't going to be difficult for Sebastian. Sebastian loses a couple units here. Yeah, Sebastian's going to need skirms or siege, if anything. In fact, I think he needs walls and he needs siege. That's the only thing that he can really do. And he did stonewall. Now, this house would probably be a house that I would target if I were Liereyy. Or this house. But this house is harder to wall behind. And Sebastian's going to sneak away with this army. But yeah, this mix is kind of tough to deal with Cav Archers. But the walls are everywhere for Sebastian. Lierey's not really investing into any forward siege. Liereyy will drop TC number 2. Flipe says, would you go for fish traps? I think a lot of people would. I consider it pretty risky. Like, adding additional fishing ships and adding fish traps is probably not good. But, oh man, are you kidding me? He just misses these vills. Dude, Sebastian's so unfortunate. And that's so risky from Liereyy. Sneak archers go right past 4 villagers. And now they're dropping off the hunt as well. But yeah, I think the leading 2 fishing ships is a little weird. I think a lot of people would at least make the traps there. And of course, Sebastian goes right underneath the TC. But Liereyy doesn't notice this. Liereyy was expecting something, but he was expecting it down here. And so at least Sebastian gets some reward with that. And Liereyy knocking on the door killed another villager from Sebastian. Liereyy just, like... He just feels like he's on a higher level here, guys. His timing in early castle and his advantage to the town centers is just crazy. It's so fast. So, yeah, 2 TCs. Upgrades are perfect. Sebastian will drop a second TC and make a Scorpion. Now, I really hate the Scorpion. Like, when it's this bad, make a Mangonel. I swear. Before the change where people could get ballistics on Scorpions, people would make a Mangonel there. But there's something deep down in people's brains that make them go Scorpion in those situations now. Lierey's not going to care about that at all. Yeah, this is not what the Japanese need. The Japanese need army. Against the Persians, if it's a boom war, the Persians are going to dominate. It's 2 ranged Cav Archers production, so he just doesn't have the numbers yet. And, oh, hops out. Okay. Oh, Scorpion gets really good hits. And Scorpion's going to go down. And Liereyy lost 0 units there, so it's not really too bad for him at all. TC number 3 for Liereyy. Can someone look on Liquipedia and see how many times these two have faced in tournaments? Because Sebastian's 2024 was crazy, but prior to that, most of you guys probably didn't know about him. It's been recent. Recent career at this level. I know he played in Titans League before. I mean, I know Sebastian's whole freaking history, but there can't have been that many instances where they faced each other, and I'm kind of curious how it's gone. Just because Sebastian's been dominating people who aren't his style, but now Lierey's like... Liereyy is maybe the definition of his style, and so far it looks like Lierey's pretty comfortable, but... Cav Archers will run this way. So they played 3 times against each other, all in 2024, and Liereyy is 2-1 in sets. Okay. Interesting. Let's not forget, Persians need to use their army lead to some end, because it only gets worse for them as the game goes on. The Cav Archer War, that's better for the Japanese. Much better for the Japanese. And TC will go up for Sebastian. Loses a couple vills, though. And these Cav Archers also stayed alive. So this army from Liereyy, it's not Elite Skirm, which is kind of surprising. I think we'll see that. And it hasn't killed a ton when it comes to army. 3 TCs. But, I mean, the eco upgrades are fantastic for both. I love how Lierey's starting to place houses around the map for vision. You could see Sebastian's thinking of placing outposts for vision. But still no bloodlines or ballistics for the CA. This is the time for Liereyy now. Scorpion hits. Well, actually, I mean, this is not a situation where having ballistics and all those upgrades really benefits you. This is your leftover army that's very weak. But the Cav Archer army has bloodlines for Liereyy, full armor for Liereyy, and he has ballistics. This is not a situation where Sebastian can fight easily. And Sebastian just clicked ballistics himself. He knows that Liereyy has ballistics. He could tell, but he doesn't have bloodlines. Now, there's some weak units in there for Liereyy. Wow, that's crazy to me. That fight was so close. That's no bloodlines, no final armor, no ballistics against full armor, bloodlines, and ballistics. And the Japanese CA, they have +2 attack against other CA here. So, and then long term, they get Bracer. We could see Liereyy go for Parthian Tactics and Castle. And that adds extra 2 Pierce armor. So that just makes the fights even then. It's 68 vills versus 81. Lierey's got the vill lead, as expected, but Sebastian's hanging in. Really running out of wood in the back corner, though. And I don't know if he notices that with everything else that's going on. Also, he was never able to get the outpost up on the front. Oh, no, he did get it up. I'm stupid. Okay, so yeah, he knows the siege is coming, but he needs to defend from that. This just kind of feels like a situation he doesn't realize, the wood situation. And he's going to be trying to produce things, and he just won't have the wood for it. Micro battle. Dancing from both. There's still more units for Liereyy here. Lierey's has a 15 villager lead. This is so stupid, guys. If this is like any other 2 players, they're not just standing there and dancing, but they're doing their best. And Sebastian's kind of out dancing. It's funny how they both research ballistics, and then it's a comparison of who can let's try that again. Who can out-micro ballistics the best? Oh, man, just as Sebastian builds a lumber camp here, the cav archers make it, crossbows make it this way. And now the counterattack from Sebastian. Lierey's distracted. Oh, my God. That was a crazy hit for Sebastian. And crazy micro as the follow-up. Did you see that? Wow. Now, Lierey's doing this. Liereyy is maybe looking here and feeling very good about life. But that engagement there frees up Sebastian to take down the Siege Workshop. That was disgusting. It was the 1 for 2, which was obviously great. But then the micro after that was wild. And Sebastian clicks up to Imp. I mean, now Liereyy is going into skirms. He doesn't have faith in the cav archers anymore. I don't necessarily blame him. This gets very complicated if these cav archers stay alive and get bracer and all the upgrades. Liereyy will click up to Imp, but now he's on the defensive. And, we'll see if he can get the timings. Also, Liereyy, please make a demo. That's a Persian dock. That dock's going to be there forever. You will have an opportunity, dude. Where's Sebastian taking wood? Okay, he's taking wood over here now. And Liereyy is going to make some knights. Sebastian sees the cav archers. Liereyy dodges, and Liereyy snipes the mangonel. And it just, the same rules do not apply for these two as other players in the game. Like, normally, you should avoid siege against, like, with archers. But not for these two. Normally, if your opponent is making skirms, you still shouldn't make CA. Or you shouldn't, like, take certain fights. But not for these two. This is a big deal, though. Like, you can't let this army control this side of the map and give vision. There's a lot of gold and stone and wood and everything that's so important here. So Sebastian has to be careful with that. But Lierey's kind of tucked away, playing defensive, waiting for Imp. Doesn't feel like he could freely move out with his skirms. I feel like he maybe could, though. After taking the mangonel, I was expecting to see his skirms move forward. It feels like he's doing a lot of waiting for Sebastian to show up to his base. Unsure of where Sebastian will be. Yeah, he's checking all the sides. Love this castle. That's a great castle. I also love this castle from Sebastian, who reaches Imp and clicks Bracer. Liereyy had such a nice eco. Still has a nice eco. But he just doesn't have the army to get excited about, and that's the issue for Persians. Cav archers will probably go down. And Sebastian, I don't know if he misclicked that, or if he just was uncertain on placing that castle. But he places it now. Still all this army. It won't kill anything, but it controls that area of the map. Liereyy has a lot of vision in the south. And he'll see that castle's going up here. Cavalier on the way for Liereyy. Does he try Savar here? Maybe there's a timing. But if it becomes Cav Archer and Halb... this is Japanese we're talking about. I don't know if Savar could do it. We'll see. TC's going to stay up for a while. Sebastian's got to be thinking it's awfully quiet out there. And so if he's not seeing a lot of army from Liereyy, and then you see these stables, it probably tells you it's going to be Savar. And so, on that note, I think you should really be applying some pressure right now with these cav archers. But where do you pressure? There's skirms, there's towers, there's TCs. It's kind of tough to justify. Savar, 90 seconds away for Liereyy. So, do you... Option A, do you raid with the Savar? And I think you guys were all going to say option B, but now you see Liereyy raiding, so you're all going to say option A, so you seem really smart. Or, do you option B, do you fight the CA with the Savar? Which do you do? Infantry upgrades on the way for Sebastian now. Sebastian doesn't have a single defensive castle. And there go the Cavalier. But I think Sebastian saw that with the CA, or at least knows he's vulnerable there. Option C, do both. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Option C is pretty good. I don't think Sebastian has the food eco to get Halb, guys. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That is crazy. That could be like Cavan. It's going to kill Vils. It doesn't even need to be Savar. And it's about to be Savar in 5 seconds. And so Sebastian's been wondering, like, what are you going to do? And wow. Savar into GG. It is. The Savars broke through. They'd be back into the main eco. They deny the castle. They'd be back over here. And then, I mean, there was a tiny pushback here from Liereyy. He would get some kills. He wouldn't kill at all, but Sebastian just didn't have enough. Crazy. Liereyy. So now he's confirmed to be top of the group regardless what happens in the third game. He's still undefeated. He's 8-0 so far in TTL4, guys. He looks strong. This is the same Sebastian that 3-0'd Yo and that 3-0'd Doubt, who are no slouches. So, you know, in this game, it looked like it was going to be good for Sebastian in Feudal Age. But there was a moment where he lost all of his army to Liereyy. I don't think Sebastian's expected this game plan from Liereyy to really sit back in Feudal. Like, Sebastian wants to play open and aggressive, and Lierey's just not giving it to him. And in both games, he gets to Castle Age and just starts to macro, and he's just like, come kill me. Come kill me! And Sebastian can't do it. And, I mean, I've seen a lot of instances where Savar takes too long or is too expensive to work out, and you lose too much ground before it gets there. But that was not the case. I don't know, like, should Sebastian have been more active with his Cav Archers here? The skirms, there were like 20 skirms against 40 CA. I mean, maybe, but he still had a lot of work to do. He still didn't have the eco Liereyy did this game. Liereyy just had such a good eco. 45k res collected, more wood, more food, more gold. And Sebastian had the stone, but it was put in the walls and a castle that never went up. So didn't necessarily do what he was hoping for. All right, so Sebastian needs a win. Live standings, we've got Liereyy with 8 wins. We've got Sebastian with 6 wins. And evacuation is super multitasking focused. And I think this is the important distinction. It's not a boomy map. It's an army control map, which is what Sebastian has been trying to do. But Liereyy has just been out booming him. So naturally, there's a lot to be said. And naturally, I really got to pee. So I'll be right back. I'll show you Lierey's scout. Where is Lierey's scout? Here we go. We're following the scout of the player winning the series. I will be right back. So sorry, but we've got a schedule. BRB. Why does my chat get more active when I'm not here speaking? My guys, I hope you've been enjoying the event. Please give me your thoughts on XYZ topic. Nothing. I step away for 90 seconds. Everybody's chatty. What's up with that? Am I not a good conversationalist? I mean, come on. Is it like when mom and dad leave and you think you can be naughty? Oh my god, we can say the bad words now. He's not here. Is that what it is? I don't know. Teacher is away? Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry if I scare you. I'm not mean, I swear. Look at Liereyy with the cows. Liereyy has found a lot of cows out here on the outside. They're going for a dock on the back. Oh, Lierey's also gone for the Khmer. Khmer's a really interesting choice. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. It should be really good to play the land aspect. I field lots of archers and scouts. Liereyy seems to be lacking a little bit of food here to click up. Did I miss something? Oh boy, hold on. Does Liereyy see that? Liereyy. Oh man, there was a very real opportunity he could have blocked that. So Sebastian is bringing in the outside boar with his scout. And Lierey's scout was in position. He also had the scouting, but I must not have been thinking about it. Not the first time, won't be the last time we see that. I like that move. You do give up some scout HP, but that extra food underneath the TC is really helpful. And Lierey's aiming to click up pretty quickly here. So he goes 2 fishing ships. Super fast feudal. Will now also try and stretch out to go for a lumber camp on the outside, most likely. And then Sebastian's got 4 fish with the Dravidians. Will also go for the lumber camp on the outside and is opening with some walls. I think res collected should be much higher for Sebastian when they make it to feudal. Especially when he gets the 200 wood. But Liereyy should have the timing advantages here. Again, really tough map to play. What I've loved about this map is how, like, one thing isn't necessarily always the play. We've seen scouts do well. We've seen archers do well. We've seen skirms do well. We've seen galleys do well. We've seen fires. I actually wonder... So Liereyy looked on the back. This is where people typically dock. I wonder if he just assumes the dock is back there. And I wonder if Sebastian docked over here because he wants to go fires. Because that... You are slightly closer to your opponent's fish, I guess. But I think this is good if you want to go for some fire pressure. There's Lierey's lumber camp. Safer, but it's also further away from this, which he may want to take. And then Sebastian is going to lumber camp right next to the berries, right next to the Man, words are hard. The deer. Jeez, I'm so sorry. You can see the wood's already running dry there for Sebastian. Liereyy, this is the time where there's not a lot of vills underneath the TC. So he could try and go for a heist. And man, you can't garrison your vill there. You just can't do it. You got to know better than that, Sebastian. You have to just keep your villager there because, well, he's going to get away. And the laming underneath the TCs on hybrid maps, which is super common now, continues. Guys, and the big reason for that is because people have everything on wood and gold. And they're saving the food for later. So 200 food stolen, 200 food killed. And Liereyy started with the stable, already has the range. This is the Khmer for you. But we'll see what he can do with his fire galley. Sebastian will have 2 docks producing fire galleys. So Liereyy should lose water here. Are people sleeping on Step Lancer civs on this map? I mean, Mongols are really good on this map, but Mongols are banned a lot, especially when Jungle Swamp is in the pool. Tatars feel kind of weird because there's not a lot of hills, but I kind of like the Tatars, honestly, because of the extra food on the sheep as well. And then Cumans feel very unnatural. So I think Tatars and Mongols can be good on this map. But not necessarily for the Lancers. I think for the other options, too. I could see it. I could see an argument. Yeah, there's lots of elevation, at least here. And I think what people are desperate to do is to lay their farms. So they always have food underneath the TC. So I think having Tatars could be really strong. We might end up seeing that in later stages. Liereyy, he's going to lose his fish here. Does have a second fire galley somewhere, but this is a problem. 5 fishing ships working for the Dravidians for Sebastian. And Sebastian's scout, I think, just located that wood line, so he knows that's out there. He has walled this way. He's walling this way. So Liereyy has the army. And Sebastian's basically like, it's my turn, bro. My turn to wall and play patient and take the eco approach. And so far, this is really good for Sebastian. I don't think Liereyy was expecting the walls to be like this. I think he was expecting the walls in towards the TC, but he wasn't expecting these walls. And he may choose to dive here. And he will dive through. And he will make it, but he won't make it with an archer. And Sebastian has some army around as well, so... He does actually have some spearmen over here. That's kind of random, the fact that he has spearmen over here. Why did he have spearmen over there? I mean, it's going to work out. Maybe he already thought, like, I'm already safe at this area. He didn't know the army would run through, and now the spears were there ahead of time. That's pretty sick. Well... Frustrating for Liereyy, because he doesn't have fish. He'll lose his dock. And Dravidian fish are insanely strong as well. There is a fire galley there. And now Sebastian has his archers on the outside. And now I think is where Liereyy could have some potential problems. See, Liereyy, well, he has his archers here. This is where the focus is going to move to the outside. Liereyy losing his scout there. Not a single farm for Sebastian. Liereyy still has cows, and Liereyy started to farm with the Khmer. I mean, that's really good here. And Sebastian still trying to evacuate, and Lierey's fire galley and scout have been a real problem. Sebastian needs to get a fire galley of his own over here. Or he needs to do the same thing, which he should eventually be able to do. You should be able to have your fire galleys that are on the dock be on this crossing, but Lierey's still trying to just be disruptive on water, it seems. Man, there's so much to look at right now. There's a tower now from Sebastian. His spearmen, did they die? Where did the spearmen go? The spearmen are... Oh, they're moving forward. And so he really needs the tower. The spearmen wouldn't have helped against the archers anyways. Nice couple moments here for Liereyy. Really nice Vil picks. But the tower's up. And now he doesn't have his own tower, but he does have the house. And he is the Khmer. Archers could still go this way for Liereyy. But there will be archers for Sebastian there to defend it. Repairs for Sebastian. Another fire galley for Sebastian. And Liereyy might need to get out of here. I don't know about that, man. He thinks it's good. He thinks it's good. But there's archers, Liereyy. No! Well, they're just a little toasty. Just a little toasty. Just a little warm. That's all. And that's sick micro. That's sick micro. To get value from that. He does lose 3, but he kills 2, which is still more than fine. So, I prefer Sebastian's position. I think this is the position that you want with the Dravidians. You want good archer count. You want to have water control. And you don't want mobility or lack of mobility to have been an issue. So, the scouts haven't really done a whole ton for Liereyy. His fish are going down. He's still trying to reclaim water, but Sebastian's already fished so heavily with these 5 fishing ships. And now Sebastian clicks up. Another game where Lierey's making skirms. His favorite unit confirmed, but he doesn't have any awareness on where Sebastian's archers are. And yeah, guys, after this, we see Doubt. We see Doubt Dragonstar after this in this group. Really important series. Should I stop saying a series is important if every series is important? Or should I just still say that? I feel like I should still say it's important. But every series is important. Technically, every game is as important. Well, I guess unless you're already relegated. But then the games are important for Pride. And for same $40. And then for everyone else in the stands. I'll keep saying it's important, okay? I'll keep saying it. It gets to be repetitive. Well, I am going to be live every single day for the next month. Talking about the same 25-year-old game. Which I've talked about nonstop for the last 10 years. So it is kind of a struggle not to be repetitive. We do our best. The beauty is that every game could have an extra level of spice to it, but the whole thing is kind of repetitive in nature. Liereyy has an army here. This should stop the wall, but his villagers are just chilling out inside houses over here. And Sebastian's castle age time is crazy. Like, this is good for Liereyy, but I can't help but feel like he's going to need skirms at home right now. The fact he doesn't have a big skirm ball at home is the biggest problem. There's also some archers over here, which he will deal with. The tower's already up here for Sebastian, so the TC should be completed, and Sebastian's got a dream situation right now. And the first 2 games were dominant, but if Sebastian just gets a win here, still very possible for him to steal first place from Liereyy. And he's still had a crazy showing so far this season. But he's got to get that win. Elite skirms on the way for Liereyy, but he has 6 skirms. 6 skirms. And all his skirms are out of position. Type a 1 in chat if you can relate with this. I feel like this is every time I play skirmishers. I watch Liereyy play and he's got skirms. And then I go skirms and I die to knights or mangonel. Or I just don't have my units in position. And then I'm just like, I have skirms. How am I supposed to win the game with skirms? Love how Sebastian's moved his army around. Don't love the fact that Sebastian can't make knights right now. Any other civ, you make a knight, you push this back, you're in a happy spot. Can't exactly do that, and Liereyy finds an opportunity. Kills some crossbowmen there. But still can't really easily take gold because of the presence of these crossbows, and will lose more Vils. I think he's microing over here at the same time. And Sebastian sees the knights. Will back up towards his fire galleys. Oh, that's so patient. That's so smart from him. And Liereyy may take the fight, but he can't. Because the fire galleys are there. 2 TCs for Sebastian. Maybe 3 soon, because he's about to mine the stone for the 3rd. Liereyy still 1 TC. And again, the knights tossed away just to kill a couple crossbowmen when he already has skirms. It's so painful to have to do that. And then over here, Lierey's army's disappearing as well. This situation seems very smooth for Sebastian, as long as he can just add some farming eco. Because about half of his food eco is actually still the 5 fishing ships right now. Oh, no. What a find. What a find. What a find. The crossbows. Guys, the value Sebastian got from what? The 5 crossbows it was before. And these fire galleys has just been insane. Denies that TC. And now Liereyy, I'm sure he'll come deal with this. But it's kind of similar to game 1 in this series, where eventually the early crossbowmen get dealt with, but by the time you deal with it, you're already so far behind. And finally, they die. Well, okay, you killed that, Liereyy. And then he just calls the GG. Well, I mean, I was expecting this to go on another 2 minutes, but Lierey's game sense is so good, he knew that this was going to be tough. Liereyy saved us a little bit of time there. And so to end the series, Sebastian snags a win. Man, what a fun series. What a great series. The theme between the two really seemed to be the aggressor in the early game actually lost, funnily enough, at least in some ways. I don't know if that might be oversimplifying it. Well played from Sebastian. And I expect things to be pretty competitive. Like, just because Liereyy wins this doesn't mean that he necessarily wins the group. He's got the lead over Sebastian, but he cannot drop games in the future. And Liereyy does have to play Mr. Yo, who Sebastian already beat 3-0, so should be fun. I think here, though, Sebastian, his walling was great. His archer movement was great. Winning water was fantastic. It was just super smooth with the transitions. Finally. This was kind of the Sebastian I was expecting to see today. So, let's look at the odds. This shouldn't affect the others in the group that massively, because no one in the group has really been able to compete with these two. So, it pretty much feels like a fight amongst these two for first place right now. But the next series coming up is in this group, so important you look at this. So we're talking about Group A, and we'll add the results. Liereyy wins 2-1. And so it should be much greater odds for Liereyy to get first, of course. Sebastian pretty much confirmed top 2, I would guess, unless we have like a crazy run from Yo, or maybe Dragonstar if Dragonstar beats Doubt next. We'll see. But again, Lierey's upcoming opponents, he has to play Dragonstar, and then he has to play Yo final round. That final round's very interesting. And then Sebastian's upcoming opponents are Margugu and Dragonstar. So, based on how things have gone, I mean, Liereyy drops a game. Maybe it gets tough. But actually, what is good for Liereyy is that he has the head-to-head victory in the case of a tiebreak, and he's at 3 set wins in the case of a tiebreak as well. So the only way Sebastian steals first place from him is if Sebastian overtakes him fully and wins, or set wins, which shouldn't really be that possible right now. So that was a really big win for Liereyy. Now, the next series we're going to cover, final series of round 3, is Dragonstar against Doubt. And Doubt has a 0.01% chance to get first place. So there's a lot of reasons to be hyped for Doubt. Also, a 0.23% chance of getting second place. But I think the bigger thing for Doubt is he has a 78% chance of getting relegated unless he gets wins today. Now, Dragonstar already has 3 wins. So Dragonstar's had the better start, but Dragonstar didn't play Liereyy and Sebastian yet. Doubt sets were against Liereyy and Sebastian. So Doubt, in theory, has the easier sets remaining. And so let's see if Doubt can step it up and see if Doubt can survive. Now, the final series between for Doubt is Doubt Margugu. And Margugu has said he doesn't care if he gets relegated as long as he brings Doubt down with him, okay? And I wanted to show you guys this as well, because I showed this at the start of stream, and I know a lot of you guys weren't here. So I just love the fact that Margugu is having so much fun with this, even though he's having a tough group. It's really what it's supposed to be about. Check this out. So Margugu posted a screenshot of this. So he posted this from Liquipedia, where it shows Doubt with 0 wins and $0. And it says, in addition to the base prize money, players also receive $40 for each map win in the group stage. So, dude, Margugu is talking so much smack about this series, man. So much smack. It's building it up for the final round. We're going to find out next what Dell can do, but I love Margugu for that. That is so much fun. And it's going to be a fun series. It's going to be a really fun series.